If you try to plug, your childhood Super Nintendo or an old VCR into a modern 4K OLED TV today, you're going to get a horrible, muddy, unplayable mess. Assuming you get a picture at all, of course. Welcome to your custom deep dive.
Yeah, it's a huge frustration for a lot of people right now trying to revisit older media.
Right, so our mission today is to decode the highly specific piece of audiovisual hardware required to fix that, using this extensive product listing we have from HDTVSupply. It's called the Smart-AVI V2V-C2V-01-S.
Which I know sounds like an absolute alphabet soup of tech acronyms.
Oh, completely, but it's actually this really fascinating bridge between legacy hardware and modern displays.
It really is. I mean, we are looking at a device that solves a very specific, very modern frustration. It bridges that fundamental gap between continuous analog signals and, rigid digital formats.
Exactly. So at its core, this is a device that takes standard composite video, those classic RCA cables, and converts it into modern VGA or HDMI outputs. But wait, I have to push back right away.
Okay, go for it.
The listing prices this thing at $299, which seems incredibly steep for an adapter.
It does sound like a lot at first glance, yeah.
Right, because I can just go buy a composite to HDMI cable online for like $10. So what is this dedicated 1-pound box doing that a cheap cable isn't?
Okay.
Let's unpack this. Is it acting like, I don't know, a universal translator?
Well, think of it less like a simple translator and more like a really high-speed courtroom stenographer.
Okay, I like that analogy.
Yeah, because a cheap $10 cable just passively shoves an electrical signal from one pin to another. But composite video is analog. It's a continuous, messy wave of electricity.
Right, whereas digital HDMI expects a perfect mathematical grid of pixels.
Precisely. So the two formats aren't just speaking different languages.
They basically operate on entirely fundamentally different laws of physics.
Exactly. And the processor in the Smart-AVI box is literally catching those messy analog waves in real time. It's de-interlacing them and drawing thousands of discrete digital pictures every single second.
Wow. So that heavy lifting processing power is why the thing weighs a pound.
You got it. It actively scales those legacy signals up to a crisp 1080p resolution. And it's automatically detecting the source frame rates too.
Like whether it's 50 or 60 hertz.
Yeah, exactly. And seamlessly handling both NTSC and PL video systems without missing a beat.
So it's dynamically analyzing the wave and standardizing the output completely on the fly.
Yeah, it's doing a massive amount of processing under the hood.
See, here's where it gets really interesting, especially from a user experience standpoint. The listing mentions an on-screen display where you can meticulously adjust resolution, brightness, contrast, saturation, and hue.
Right, which is huge for archival work or retro enthusiasts.
Oh, absolutely.
Well,
Because if you've ever spent like a Saturday afternoon dialing in the perfect color balance for a retro gaming setup, you know the absolute dread of a power outage just resetting everything.
oh yeah, losing all those custom settings is the worst.
Does the built-in auto memory feature actually prevent that?
It does, and if we connect this to the bigger picture, that auto memory feature is really what elevates this hardware from just a simple converter to professional infrastructure.
Because you don't have to constantly babysit it.
Right. Along with its built-in stereo audio input and output, the auto memory makes this a true set-it-and-forget-it solution.
You integrate your older tech into a streamlined modern setup, dial the picture in exactly how you want it, and the hardware just locks it in. It respects your time.
Yeah, we invest so much effort into preserving classic content, whether that's archival footage or old software.
Sure, but without the heavy lifting hardware to accurately interpret and redraw those analog waves, that content is effectively trapped.
Totally trapped. You literally can't access it on modern screens.
So this little 5.75-inch box really represents the necessary infrastructure to keep older media accessible.
It really does. It's the invisible workhorse actively calculating and redrawing the past so it can actually survive on today's high-definition displays.
Which really forces you to look at the devices sitting on your desk right now in a slightly different light.
Oh, 100%.
It does. Because as our video standards rapidly march toward 8K and beyond, you have to wonder, what pieces of today's absolute cutting-edge technology will eventually require their own dedicated 1-pound translation boxes just so future generations can experience them?
It's wild to think about.
It really is. Someday, the incredibly advanced screens we're using right now will be the legacy tech needing a rescue.